Wong Fu. Like, man.
You know, Casey said that. Casey said we probably should have had him in on To Wong Fu, a fun movie. That's it. Like, and we done brought him in on the.
It's okay.
On like the dark hour.
I know the first point of levity to bring in. And did you tell Casey about our conversation about how everyone has been mispronouncing the name of that movie?
Yeah, I did not. I did not. I had it with Una.
Philadelphia?
No.
How do you say the movie To Wong Fu? How do you say it?
To Wong Fu, thanks for everything, Julie Newmar.
Okay.
Or
you split the
I
difference.
guess if I'm going to smoke it, then I would say To Wong Fu, thanks for everything, Julie Newmar.
But the way that everyone always says To Wong Fu, like it's TWO or TOO instead of To Wong Fu.
I think it's spelled TU or something.
To Wong Fu. That's how it should be, not To Wong Fu. To Wong Fu.
Yeah. The emphasis should be on the second word.
The emphasis should be on a different syllable. We're nerds. I love it.
Syllable.
Everyone has AIDS. AIDS, AIDS, AIDS. AIDS, 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 AIDS. Everyone has AIDS. And so this is the end of our story. And everyone is dead from AIDS. It took from me my best friend, my only true pal, my only bright star. He died of AIDS. Well, I'm gonna march on Washington, lead the fight and charge the brigades. There's a hero inside of all of us. I'll make them see everyone has AIDS. My father, AIDS. My sister, AIDS. My uncle and my cousin and her best friend, AIDS, AIDS. The gays and the straights and the whites and the spades. Everyone has AIDS. My grandma and my dog are blue. AIDS. Papa's got it, and so do you. Come on, everybody, we got quilting to do. We're gonna break down these barricades. Everyone has AIDS. AIDS, 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 AIDS.
Did he say we have quilting to do?
We've got quilting to do.
Yes.
God.
I was telling
everybody.
Casey before you got here, Trey Parker.
Welcome to the podcast.
May be the only person that can write that song, say that line, and I just crack up about it because I already know.
Never.
He'd love to try. He'd love to try.
All right.
Sandler as well. Sorry, we started this one a little weird. I started the recording already.
Are we recording?
I just needed to do that because we've all been talking about it already, and this one, this movie is different. So we needed
start with some levity,
a little bit of levity. We're gonna hear a different song that's going over the actual introduction of the show, but our
Hey there, movie nerds. Recorded in the beautiful Barnes-Dixon Memorial Studio at the one and only Inspire Music Collective in downtown Indianapolis, Indiana, featuring Midwest movie musings from Ed, Joe, Casey, and Trevor. That's right, you're listening to Real Poppycock, a film-focused podcast where four everyday self-proclaimed movie nerds discuss whether your favorite flicks are or are not real poppycock. Potential side effects include death, nausea, foaming at the mouth, bulging of the pants, and maybe even a little hitch in your giddy.
Yeah, and with that, I want to say welcome back to another episode of Real Poppycock. Woo. There's some hosts today. I'm one of them. I'm Ed.
And this is, this is Trevor. No, wait.
No.
I believe I'm KC.
Yes, you believe correctly. You are KC.
Thank you.
And for you Poppycock faithful, there's a voice you didn't hear today. You already know that Joe's going to be gone for a little bit, but as fate
we
would
miss you,
have
Joe.
it,
Thanks for hanging out in Bolivia for us.
Right. Just don't get caught up in nothing. But as fate would have it, our guy Trevor couldn't be with us for this particular episode because he is enjoying family time with the in-laws in Cincinnati. You know, his father-in-law is a really big New York Yankees fan, and they're playing the Reds today, and they went to take in the Yankees against the Reds.
Yeah, Trevor did let me know he's going to find out who pees for the longest.
Okay.
From what he can see from the stands. He's going to report back on that.
I love it. I love it. Can't wait to get the deets on that. Can't wait to get the deets. But fear not, Poppycock faithful, because in Trevor's chair, we have a special guest host today for this episode. All right. Many of you know him. A lot of you don't. And you know what?
Wow, that was a weird way to put that.
No, I'm just thinking about it. A lot of you don't because because they're not music and they're not music people like that.
No, I think our fans are
you know?
jazz fans, but I don't know if as many of our fans are in the Indy area.
Yeah, so
regularly enough to catch this.
There it is. That's all I meant. Wasn't trying to slight the brother.
Also, he does look very similar to a different person.
Yeah.
So
you can't mix them up.
No,
I got a good little story. But before I get to that story, I'm gonna go ahead and let you know. In the studio today, we've got Jared Thompson. What is going on, my guy?
I'm chilling. This is again the interim location for this recording, and it's absolutely beautiful in here. This is nice. And
we're digging the vibes?
Yes. I mean, how can you not? We chilling. We got a couple brews.
And I'm comfortable.
Very
Some
comfy
pizza. Got some other party
The next
favors
studio is going to have a
happening.
lot to stand up to.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. It really, really is.
Yeah, I'm excited to be here. I follow the podcast. I've listened to every single episode. And, this month, what y'all are doing is really special because, it's Pride Month, but it's also Pride is intersectional.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know what I mean? That's great,
Yes.
Yep.
So that's important, too. It's just doing the things.
Yes.
You don't have to, shout it from the rooftops. You just got to do the things that you're doing,
Yeah.
You're really nailing it right there with just the doing it. Because honestly, I mean, the listeners already know because they've seen the name of the episode, but...
Yeah.
This film, they do a very good job of just being the people that they are.
And y'all brought me in on one of the heaviest fucking movies of the 20th century.
Oh gosh. It's nothing personal. It's nothing personal at all. I promise.
Let's invite Jared. What are we going to talk about? AIDS.
Certified AIDS.
Y'all threw me off with that. I was like, all right, we got to get the laughs at the beginning because ain't shit in this movie funny.
That's real.
No,
that's real.
It's a tough one.
But so Poppycock listeners, we're gonna go ahead and let you know Jared is in to help us cover and review the 1993 drama. Courtroom drama. Yeah, Philadelphia.
Yeah.
We told you last week what was coming up this week. Yeah, so we're doing Philadelphia. Jared was gracious enough to agree to come in and join us for this one. And for that, we want to say thank you.
Hey, I want to say you're welcome.
And like I said, it was nothing personal to pull you in on such a heavy.
It was literally
thing.
the timing because there are other people that we want to bring into. Thank you to a lot of our listeners and a lot of our fans that have been friends before and stuff. But you were like, even before we came up with the film that we were doing, Ed had already said, while we were out just smoking or whatever, Ed was like, the next person that's coming on is Jared. That's what's happening. And then we figured out it was Philadelphia. And
No, here's the other thing too. And
you'll be back. We'll bring you back for
Thank
something.
you both as well because I remember when this movie came out. I was 11 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And so there'd already been hard hitting movies that already hit the screen, like Schindler's List had already been out.
Yeah.
Right? You know what I mean?
Right.
Heavy stuff.
Yep.
So it's been a good probably 15, 17, 18 years since I've seen this movie. So
and you remembered all. I'm not even not to put words in your mouth, but I bet you just pretty much remembered the way the film goes.
It's kind of like going to spend money on the Titanic. You know, you know what this is, man.
Right.
It's true.
So, Trevor, you enjoy that game. I'm going to take over
Kevin,
your...
Emily, love you.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening.
Yes. And safe travels back. I'm going to take over. Real basic fact deets for this episode, and it's about that time. So we're going to get into these real basic facts for Philadelphia. Okay, Philadelphia was released on January 14th, 1994. Has a runtime of 2 hours and 5 minutes. Now, it had a budget, It had a budget of $26 million. Anybody want to take a guess at what this movie put up worldwide?
Ooh.
I believe Jared.
And it
might,
came out in 94?
I thought it was 93.
I did too.
I think it got awards in 94 because it came out in 93.
Okay, so they spent 26.
For the release date? The release date, I'm sorry, December 22nd, 1993.
Okay.
That date I gave y'all, totally made it up. Now, I really don't know where I got that fucking date from. I don't.
I don't know. Casey, what do you think? What do you think? How much do you think?
Well, it's tough. Once we realized Trevor wasn't going to be here and we started doing the real basic facts, so
Yeah.
you beat me to the punch in saying that you were going to pick it up. So I tried not to look. But I think that worldwide we're looking at 269.
It was 207, roughly 207 million at the box office.
Nice.
Worldwide growth. So this movie,
Which is, you got to
put
admit,
up some numbers. Yeah.
there's no way that people were seeing this twice. That's probably all
Yeah.
single.
Yeah.
What else was coming out that time?
Oh, I mean, we're
93.
jam-packed in 93.
But
Yeah.
you said January,
we
right?
know Shakespeare in Love.
Yeah.
No.
Fucking love.
That wasn't the same year as Shakespeare in Love. Was it Malcolm X? Was Malcolm X 93? Was Malcolm X 94?
Denzel's got like 4 movies coming out that year. So, yeah, maybe.
Yeah. We'll look that up.
Okay, we've got The Pelican Brief,
Oh,
Schindler's
that was
List,
huge.
Ooh.
What, say,
Bronx Tale.
see, I love that movie.
Oh, Prehysteria for our dinosaur fans. Anyone that enjoys that.
93. I'm fucking Jurassic
This
Park.
Boy's
Yeah.
Life.
Jurassic Park was definitely 93.
Yeah, it's all over the place.
Wow.
Gettysburg. Ew.
That was like
I wish I hadn't remembered
huge movies that year.
Yeah.
that. Oh,
93.
Fire in the Sky.
Yeah. 94 had some fucking blockbusters in it, too.
It is crazy, too, because I think that we live in a world now where there's just not that much original content, especially in theaters. Mm-hmm. But back then, it was like, let's just throw everything at the wall. There's also, we're coming out of the 80s of the cocaine-fueled stuff,
Yeah.
even the 70s of like Acid Trip. New kind of new wave film and stuff coming out.
Right.
There
Yeah.
was a lot of like, we'll do anything and it could be a box office hit. And we don't have to make around that time, you get a Con Air. You don't need to make another Con Air.
Right.
I like that.
It's gonna
movie.
work.
Right.
That's
The one word.
Right.
that's
Yeah.
poppycock worthy.
It is. It
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
It is. It is.
No, I agree. But yeah. So this movie was a smash in a year of other smash hits that came out. So I think that's saying a whole lot, especially for what the movie is about and everything. But it has star power. It has some star power.
Yeah, they packed it deep.
Yeah, it has some star power. Philadelphia was directed by Johnathan Demme, who actually is a director I've always dug and has a pretty good resume. You know, after graduating from the University of Florida, Demme broke into the film industry as a producer of B horror films. He moved into directing in '74, making his directorial debut on a film called Crazed Heat, followed by Crazy Mama in '75. Demme got his big break directing the 1977 comedy Handle with Care for Paramount Pictures.
Huh.
Yeah, then
Handle with care.
yeah,
Okay.
Handle with Care. Then in 1980, he directed Melvin and Howard, which didn't do much at the box office, but did receive a lot of critical acclaim, getting nominated for 3 Oscars and taking home 2 of those. One for Best Supporting Actress, which we will come back to here shortly, and the Oscar for Best Original Screenplay by Bo Goldman. So, you know, he's starting to get some notoriety. You know, we got some Oscars coming in now and stuff. You know, so.
And how much was the time between that? Like 70s and 80s?
So 6 years. 74 is when he did his debut, and by 80 he's got movies getting nominated for Oscars and things.
It's pretty great.
Yeah. So after starting his own production company, Clinica Estetico, in 1987, Demme went on to direct 1991's Silence of the Lambs, which is one of only 3 films to win all major categories at the Oscars: Best Picture, Best Director, Best Screenplay, Best Actor, and Best Actress. They won them all. Only one of 3 films to do it. Yeah. So
and I think one of those others was it's Shrek 2. I think was another that got all those same awards too. Right? Yeah.
Yes, right. I love Shrek as much as the next person. For 2.5 seconds, I thought you was being for real there. Like,
you gave me this new chair. And it's giving me different energy.
Okay, I
Something's
can dig it. Yeah. So he's into the Oscar game. Okay, he's like, I'm gonna direct a movie. We're gonna have some Oscars. Then in '93. What's he do? Follows it up with Philadelphia. As well as directing the music video for Bruce Springsteen's song Streets of Philadelphia, which won the Oscar that year for Best Song.
The Boss.
We heard that at the beginning of the show.
Great
The
song.
Boss.
I don't think that was the best song in movies in '93, but I'm just saying.
You know,
but it's a great song. It is a good song.
Okay, let's go here. I hate to interrupt, but
No, go
you're
ahead.
bringing it up
No,
because
you don't.
we have yet another musician. Like, not that Trevor is not a musician too, but like you're a musician that like I respect in a very heavy way. So it's really nice to have your opinion on this. And Howard Shore is so talented and has done so many good things. And this soundtrack is not bad, but I cannot tell you how hard it was to try to find something to intersperse in this. It's not that this music is bad, but
it's it's kind of all one note. You know what I mean? There's every song in here, and I get it. Like whether you know, like the way that it opens up. For one, it's Philly in the end of fall, right? So like,
and some beautiful shots of like grossness because Philly's just Philly.
But it's also like cloudy ass Philly because it's in the fall when we open. So like. Everything like it's great. It sounds good, but there's nothing over like 120 BPMs.
Right.
Right. It's like all hard. It's all slow.
It's a very
heartbeat. It's because this whole movie
don't get me wrong,
a death note. Like it is a dirge
stuff like that. But but it's just like there's just not a lot of lift.
Yeah, no, not at all. And I think
Which he
that
can do.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's exactly what he was going for, though, and he achieved it because this is a heavy film.
And
so
the entire soundtrack
just like we
is
discussed,
like
a couple of weeks ago with Saving Private Ryan, and just how like all of the music is like literally it's like.
But Saving Private Ryan also had like explosions happening and stuff.
No, I
you know,
got
like
you.
and the sounds of rain and thunder that was kind of filling it in.
Got you. Well,
this was a courtroom where people were.
But there was some magnificent acting in
that's
between.
What I'm not coughing into the mic. That's just what it sounded like with the music.
No, it's some magnificent acting in between these tunes, though. So,
but the boss got an Oscar. In
which is best song.
That's dope. That's dope.
And and that really does. I mean, I would love to hear. I know that like doing music for films, especially when you put the whole thing in it. Like I know that's how Will Smith tried to like work his careers in different ways and stuff. Like it's a method. It's a method. Sometimes that ends up with a giant walking spider as a part of your resume.
Hey. He sold some records off them shits, though.
Yeah, he did.
He did. He sold some records off those.
Oh, I'm playing Summertime at some point.
Well, that's pre bullshit though.
Yeah.
Summertime is, that's original Will Smith. Like that's that's Fresh Prince right there. Yeah. Wasn't even Will Smith. That was the Fresh Prince. But yeah. So, getting
bringing us back to Philadelphia.
To Johnathan Demme, our director here. Demme went on to direct Beloved in 1998.
Wow.
Woo! Woo!
Wow. Again, so this dude knows how
That
to
movie's
like
heavy. He
direct
knows how to do heavy.
Wreck You?
He knows how to do heavy. Yeah.
I haven't even seen
Yeah.
Beloved.
Because
it's-
let's be honest. Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah. I mean,
Heavy
it's
as
great.
shit.
And Toni Morrison.
Heavy
like,
as shit.
Toni Morrison's Beloved. It's a great read.
Yeah.
The movie was good. It just depends on what scale of good. It's just heavy shit. It's just some shit. But like, hey, I've seen it once,
Yeah.
and I don't need to see it.
Yeah.
Right.
Such as this.
Right.
Like rewatching this, I'm honestly glad that we
Good.
are doing this film. Not
Yeah.
just because it's roughly in the time of the month, we record and release however we do, but it really kind of needs to be seen because I'll be honest, this movie made me feel some ways that I'll be honest. I think it might be one of the craziest things that Tom Hanks has ever accomplished to make me feel bad for a dying lawyer.
Yeah.
It was a real tour de force.
We'll get to that
Yeah.
quote. In a minute. We'll get to that quote in a
There you
minute.
go. There you go. We'll save it. But after Beloved, he went on to direct 2 remake films. The first one being The Truth About Charlie, a movie we referenced in season 1, episode 11 on our episode on Charade. Because The Truth About Charlie is a Charade remake that starred Mark Wahlberg. I didn't see it, but
Whoa!
I didn't see
I
the
bet I'll
movie.
find that on Tubi tonight.
but
That is.
I'm sure he did no justice to the role, like trying to follow up Cary Grant.
What?
Because
No.
Mark Wahlberg is
The happening.
It's
That's
not
my favorite
Cary
shitbag
one.
Grant.
actor.
I don't know.
I'm
He's-
on the official record of saying Mark Wahlberg is a shit.
I think that if we didn't have John
not a
Cena,
fan, not a fan at all.
then Mark Wahlberg would still seem a little bit more appealing.
Fuck Mark Wahlberg.
I didn't mind him in The Departed. I didn't mind.
Oh yeah, The Departed's.
But after 3+
Yeah, he
hours,
was
you
I liked
gotta
him in
don't
The
give a
Town.
damn
He
about
was
anything.
carried
Yo,
by
in The
a
Town with
slew of
fucking-
other
Sure.
with fucking
phenomenal
Andre
actors,
3000. You guys remember that one?
3 brothers.
Three Brothers.
man, 3 brothers. About to say, I thought The Town was a Ben Affleck joint or something like that. Yeah.
Was it
Everybody-
3 brothers or 4 brothers?
Huh?
Was it 4 brothers?
4
or
brothers.
4 brothers. That's what it is.
Okay.
4 brothers.
Now,
And then the
we
wrong
want to
kid
talk
dies.
about Poppycock. That movie.
Oh, really? I think that's pretty fun. I like that movie. I mean, it is crazy when they're having the shootout at the end and their
well,
tiny
not
old
just
brick
that.
house front wall is
Dude,
stopping.
Literally,
machine gun
he walked up
bullets.
into a basketball game, pulled out a gun, and
Yeah,
like
that
stopped
was-
the game, like mid game, like, and was not shot and killed by cops.
Immediately.
Yeah.
Or anybody else that
was
happened to be
Like,
carrying
that's
they
like,
shit on
yeah,
them.
so that's when I say poppycock, I mean shit like that.
Yeah, it feels like a
Alright,
weird
so, yeah.
Robin Hood movie.
Yeah.
Something where they're like, here,
Yeah.
we've got the weapons.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So, yeah. But in 2004, he directed the remake of The Manchurian Candidate, which also starred Denzel Washington. In a phenomenal movie. I love Liev Schreiber, or however the fuck you say
Yeah,
his
Liev
name.
Schreiber. I like
Liev,
it.
yeah. Meryl Streep. That's
You do love some
Royal
she's,
Royalty.
she's one of my favorite actresses for obvious reasons. But yeah. But then Demme directed a few more films as well as some Broadway productions before his passing in 2017.
It's a long life. That's a lot.
I mean, that's
cancer.
effective movies is what I
Yeah.
think, though. Like, I mean, like
Yeah,
message,
yeah.
effective.
What a
Yeah.
resume.
It was kind of his thing. It was
Standing
kind of thing. Yeah,
kind
it was
of
his thing.
movies.
So, Demme definitely left his stamp on Hollywood. And, in closing out, talking about him, I just want to say his work was great. I thank him for the works that he put out. He definitely put out some timeless classics. Just rest in peace, you
Yeah.
know?
Rest in
And
peace to
Philadelphia is definitely one of those movies
One of those films.
that
unforgettable.
has to be
Yeah.
in the canon.
One of those, yeah. One
He
of
has a
those.
legacy. Like
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I won't dive deeper. And I've been trying.
Yeah.
It's hard with this podcast sometimes because I want to dive deep into who these people are that are also these directors, producers, writers, actors. But
Yeah.
then there's a point where I'm like, actually, I don't, because I've done so many Disney dives in the past that it's like sometimes you don't need to dig too deep in this coal mine.
Just leave it
Like,
there.
you know what we're gonna find down here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Good stuff.
Yeah. So, so this is the part where we would, normally toss it to Joe to talk about music and whatnot, but things are operating differently.
Yeah.
And
I think he did say that he's sending in a cassette tape.
something. Yeah, I believe so.
We'll try to integrate that.
Yeah. I got the cassette.
People that
player.
know Joe know why that's really.
Yeah. So, but so the music for this, the composer for this one, we're not going to spend a lot of time talking about because the composer for Philadelphia was covered in detail on last week's episode of Dogma. That's right. The composer in this one is none other than Howard Shore.
Yep.
So anything you want to know about Howard Shore, go listen to the episode on Dogma and you'll learn everything you need to know.
And if you haven't listened to the Dogma episode, I think that might be a cardinal sin.
Yeah. Yes, well played. Very well played. Yes. All right. So getting into who's in this thing. Yeah. So this movie it stars Tom Hanks, who we covered in past episodes of League of Their Own and Saving Private Ryan. But I would like to point out again that Hanks won his first Oscar for this role for Best Actor in a Leading Role for his portrayal of Andrew Beckett in this film. He followed this up with another win the very next year for the same Oscar for Forrest Gump. Yes, that's right. Becoming
Which is a poppycock ass film.
Hey, I love Forrest Gump.
Listen,
The book
I
or the
love-
second
I
book?
love
He
Forrest
You know
got-
the sequel book?
he got two Oscars in 2 years, and
In 2
that's all
years.
he
It's
got to say about
Yeah, that's
that.
all he got to say about that. Now, that made Hanks the second actor, male actor, to ever do that. So he's only one of two actors to win back-to-back Best Actor Oscars.
Who's
You know,
the
and
other
didn't
one?
he did a League of Our Own right before that, before this.
93. Yeah.
Yeah. And I wrote down in here, apparently, I don't know if you had this in your notes already, he gained 30 pounds to play Jimmy Dugan
Yeah. He was
and then
yeah,
lost 26
Yeah.
to do the filming for this.
for Philadelphia.
Man, he had to lose a lot of
And,
weight.
yeah,
Which he
and,
had-
and he
yeah.
lost it over time,
Lot
and he
of
lost
weight.
it. He did it chronologically, like as they.
was
yeah,
a
so
boyhood.
yeah,
Wow.
so yeah. Just to look like he was dying. So
you
yeah,
win
did his
Oscars,
thing.
I
Yeah, that's
guess.
how you win Oscars. But no, the other actor to do it was Spencer Tracy.
No shit. God. Okay, so that's a huge
Yeah.
amount of time in
Yeah.
between when that
So
happened.
it's probably going to be a
Wait, which
like,
Spencer Tracy movies? Do you
Oh,
have that?
my bad. I should have said this because I've got it written down. The only other actor to do it was Spencer Tracy, whom we covered in our season 1, episode 6, episode on Captain's Courageous. He
Yeah.
played Miguel.
That's right.
Ironically. Yes, the Portuguese sailor. That was his first one.
Yeah. Big
But
quiz.
yeah, so but we covered him in that episode, and I believe we stated then that he was the first actor to win back-to-back Best
Yeah.
Acting Oscars. And Tom Hanks did it in 93 and 94, and no one has done it since.
That's
Not
a-
even
that's
the great Daniel Day-Lewis, who
Yeah.
probably could, but
That's
yeah.
like the, what, the
For whatever reason,
50,
they've been
55-year gap?
It's yeah,
Jeez.
yeah. No, it's longer than that.
60. I mean, Spencer.
Because
Okay,
Spencer
Captain
Tracy
Courageous was
did
what year?
37.
39,
He did it in
37.
37.
So, yeah, we're talking 60
Yeah, no,
years.
39 and 40.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Approaching.
yeah.
You know, that's okay. Cool.
That-
So
That's
yeah,
wild.
1939, 40, and then.
I mean, but also,
it's been
let me
long.
be honest. We've also got, I know you're about to get to Denzel, but the amount of time that Denzel has just been kind of putting out bangers, it's kind of
Yeah.
crazy that he hasn't gotten any back-to-backs.
Right. Well, Denzel's also black.
Oh,
right.
Sounds like
yeah,
this.
So yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and get
Hattie,
to
shout out
Denzel.
to
Yeah.
Hattie.
So it also stars Denzel Washington. And everybody knows who Denzel Washington is. So I didn't want to spend too much time, talking about Denzel because like who the hell doesn't know who Denzel is?
I'm
You
sure
know what I
there's
mean?
one.
But everybody that gets
Oh my
mentioned
gosh,
in
what
the
a
Real
wonderful
Basic
life
Facts,
they'll
you know
have
what
just
I mean?
finding out.
Right. Denzel's been acting for a long time, but broke into prominence in 1982 on the medical drama series Saint Elsewhere. Bum, 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 bum,
Are you a Saint Elsewhere fan?
I was born in 82. So that was, I mean, I don't remember.
Bit of reruns.
It was
though,
in
and stuff.
syndication by the time my ears and my eyes and my brain were working in tandem.
I love that.
Yep.
Y'all just got the theme song while they were chatting it out.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
love
we're gonna
how
get
we work up in here.
That's how theme songs work.
Yeah, I love how we work up in here, how this is operating. All right.
We're gonna get copyright struck for that one. It's too accurate.
So he was on Saint Elsewhere from 82 to 88. And, while he's on the show, he made a couple movies as well. The war film, A Soldier Story, which is one of my favorite. I done told y'all
okay,
we're going to have to do that one. It is a murder mystery. And it's fantastic. It is fantastic. Not even going to spend time on it. Washington, then went on, Washington won Academy Awards for Best Supporting Actor for playing in the American Civil War film Glory in 1989.
Film.
Yes.
Wonderful film.
And
That one's really cinematography. That's okay. Let's talk about Glory's soundtrack for a second. It's a
real
dirge,
quick, though,
and
real quick.
everyone's
We gotta
dying.
get to these real
but,
basic facts.
but that's not as. That one hit bangs.
I
know. I mean, I
remember
know
watching
you're-
Glory in like 7th grade in school and shit.
Yeah.
And-
I
That's what I
remember
saw.
that
Yeah.
being a rated R movie that my parents
Yeah.
didn't mind me watching.
Yeah.
I was 7.
I don't
And
even recall having a sign
little young,
like
maybe.
slips for that. Yeah, like we just watched.
I was at grandma's house. It was just like, you can watch it.
We watched that shit in school.
Killer cast too. Killer cast.
Yeah, that is pretty stellar.
Yeah.
All right, I'll let you go ahead and finish up his.
All right,
thing with the
we're
Mighty
just gonna
Quinn.
get. Yeah,
We
we're gonna
already
get
know
the.
about that.
Hey. That's one that I'm sure he would love to bury somewhere. Oh, that was not Denzel's best work. Denzel does not do accents good.
Nope.
And I'm not, it's Denzel, so I'm not gonna hammer him.
And critics.
But he probably should just leave the accents alone. I'm just saying, everybody has their weaknesses, and accents are one.
What movie was that again?
Which one?
The Mighty Quinn.
He plays Detective Xavier Quinn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Then he won Best Actor for playing the corrupt police officer in the crime thriller Training Day in 2001. Woo. Denzel has been nominated for a gazillion Oscars. He was nominated for his roles in Cry Freedom in 1987, Malcolm X in 92, The Hurricane in 99, Flight in 2012, Fences in 2016, Roman J. Israel Esquire in 2017,
Damn, that one's dope.
and The Tragedy of Macbeth in 2021.
Now, Shakespeare, let's also not forget, he was also in Much Ado About Nothing, a Kenneth Branagh
Yeah.
opera.
With
That's
a terrible, shitty British
yes,
accent.
and it was, again, so accents are not his thing.
Yeah, they're not his thing. But
Mo Better Blues.
Yeah, Mo Better Blues.
Better
I mean, we could go on
Blues.
forever with Denzel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Devil in a Blue Dress, one of my favorite favorite
And
books,
that- I
and
feel
one
like
of
that
my
one's
favorite
kinda
Denzel
That
movies.
movie
Love
is
that
what
movie.
introduced me for whatever reason. Or it's like my first memory of Don Cheadle.
Yeah.
Oh,
That
sure.
movie is so fucking good.
Mouse.
Yeah.
You want me to
Hey,
shoot
we-
him?
What you shooting for, man? You said if he moved, just shoot him. What you shooting for? He
He
moved.
said, man, if you didn't want him dead, why you leaving with me? Don Cheadle
that
ate
movie.
that shit up,
Love
man.
that movie, man.
We're gonna have to do a
Cheadle.
Don Cheadle film, man. Like we got to talk.
He might
about
get a
Don
month. He
Cheadle.
might get a
Yeah,
month. I'm
man,
not
'cause
kidding.
Don
He's
Cheadle is
diverse, too.
fantastic.
That's a great one.
But just some of the other, big joints Denzel's. Like, just real quick, The Pelican Brief, this one, Philadelphia Crimson Tide, Remember the Titans, Man on Fire, Deja Vu, Inside Man, American Gangster, Unstoppable, The Book of Eli, Safe House, Two Guns, The Equalizer franchise, which is the only franchise he's ever done in his entire career.
It's true.
It's the
And they're
Equalizer
good.
trilogy. Yeah.
I will stand up for those films all the time.
Yeah.
They're very well shot. I like the pacing. I like the action. They kind of remind me a little bit of the Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah.
Sherlock Holmes
Yeah.
films a little
Right,
bit.
yeah.
You remember the breakdown? Like,
Yeah.
dislocate.
Yeah.
he
And,
does that
and
too.
unfortunately, he did Gladiator too.
I did.
Yeah, which was,
I did get through
I
that.
left it
I
off.
did finish.
They
that
did name it. I got through it too, but oh my goodness, they was better off leaving it alone. You know what I mean? So,
It's just the same movie. Like, that's the thing that bugged me out. I was like, well, they're just gonna make the same movie with like spending less on the graphics and like the screenplay. What the fuck? Like, and everyone has to be. It reminds me of the worst parts of like a Star Wars, where it's like all these people also have to be related. No one can have their own individual story or even something else in the same world.
Hollywood.
Boring. They're scared. They're just scared.
Yeah, this movie,
shit. Except for Sinners.
Yeah, so it doesn't star, but it also features Antonio Banderas in this movie. He plays Miguel, Andrew Beckett's partner. And just a quick little thing on Banderas. You know, we haven't done any Banderas movies. Now we have dreamcasted him in some roles on some of the movies that we've covered, but nothing that's ever had him in it. Banderas started acting in '82 in Spain, doing Spanish movies, and then he made his American film debut in 1992 with the Mambo Kings. He followed that up by his roles in Philadelphia in '93, Interview with the Vampire in '94, Assassins in '95, and Evita in '96.
Ooh,
Yeah, so he had a run. He had a little run there. He starts hitting it. I think the ladies just love the shit out of.
What's that, Jared? What do you got?
What was another one? It was kind of a.
Are you thinking of Spy Kids?
No.
He was in the Spy. So
Or
he
Spy
was in
Kids
the Zorro movies, the Spy Kids movies,
Desperados.
Once Upon a Time in Mexico. Yeah, you got to shout out to Rodriguez boys.
Zorro.
Yeah. Then the
Yeah.
Legend
I
of
was a
Zorro,
kid. You know what I
the
mean?
Mask
Like
of Zorro.
that was a.
That was a
my
TBS show too. Like that was like
introduction to Antonio Banderas was The Mask of Zorro.
yeah.
So
Which I don't know if that's even some of his best work, but it's.
I didn't care for
it's
him, but
fun.
you know,
He looked
And he can
they did
kind
some
of-
things,
He looked good.
He's underutilized. He did look good.
He looked
that's
good.
that's a fucking fact. Like
It's an attractive
there's
man.
a certain part of he must just be good on set with working with on set. He's always kind of hot looking no matter what, and he's good at memorizing and delivering lines without it seeming like it's fucking flat. He's just pretty good at delivering. He's underutilized in this film, I'd say, but
I don't think so. But we'll get into it. We'll get into it.
All
Yeah.
right. All right.
But
That's fair.
yeah, of course he played Puss in Boots in the Shrek films and whatnot.
Oh, yeah.
So Banderas has been, he's been one of my faves for a long time. And yes, you're right. He's a good looking dude. Good looking dude.
You're outnumbered this week. Dad.
I am outnumbered.
It's two queers to one. Wait a minute. It's two black queers to one.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Oh, I didn't think. You know what?
hey, welcome. This is actually
the all black.
welcome
this
to
is
the
the all
Black
all
episode.
The
Black
black
cast.
episode. Yeah, in
We
honor
figured-
of Juneteenth.
It's a Juneteenth episode.
In honor of Juneteenth.
We get to see a black man say the F
I
word.
didn't even
and
think
we-
about it.
So many times.
This is the all black episode of Real Poppycock. It's
Wow.
funny.
Oh, just saying.
But real quick though, other notables in Philadelphia are Jason
Oh, yeah, hit the
Roberts as Charles Wheeler, Robert Ridley as Walter Keaton, Bradley Whitford as Jamie Collins.
Bradley Whitford is fantastic.
Yeah.
Just very,
Yeah.
very powerful, versatile actor.
Yeah, and Mary Steenburgen.
Steenburgen.
Now,
She's such a good actress.
We love her.
now-
Love her.
I gotta say this.
She's a good
I gotta
actress
say this.
because
Let
I
me say this real quick.
hated her.
Let me say this. So, the reason why I withheld on the information of those Oscars from his 1980 director of the Harold and Melvin movie is Mary. Say how you say Steenburgen.
You see how the queers know how to pronounce her
Steenburgen.
last name?
Yeah.
I was
showing
gonna say
them
that was a black
earlier.
thing.
I was like,
That's code switching. That's easy. We'll figure out how to say whatever you need.
Mary
Steenburgen.
Steenburgen.
She was the one that won that best supporting actress Oscar in that movie.
What's the
Nice.
film called?
Hold on, I got it. Let me go back to my notes. Melvin and Howard,
Okay, I've never heard.
1980.
Of this
Melvin and Howard, but she won the Oscar
She
for
plays
best supporting
Melvin?
actress. I have no idea. I did not research it. I just know she won an Oscar for that joint.
Yeah.
So she has worked with Johnathan Demme before and got an Oscar for it. So one thing I could say
Demme's a
is,
hitmaker.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. If the movie isn't snagging awards, the people acting in them
Are
them. So
doing it.
he's good at
Assembling the crew.
and letting them know what it is that he wants and how he wants
Yep.
it delivered,
Putting
because they're getting Oscars. Folks are getting
Putting the
Oscars
squad together.
when they fuck with
I can't
with
wait
Demme
until
here.
we turn this into
So, yeah.
Poppycock Productions and start
Yeah.
looking at our own directing.
No. So yeah. And the last person I'm going to mention is this had a little bit role for Oba Babatunde as Jerome Green, the black lawyer on the defense team.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
Mustache.
Yes.
So interesting. He
Yes.
is so also underutilized a bit in this film,
Yeah.
but this is such a good establishing film for people. He's just counsel.
Yeah.
And
And around this time though, this is the type of roles he was getting.
they needed a black guy. Because
for
what
the
he
black- yo,
what
for the
they
black
needed
people
for
listening.
that
He's
role.
he's Barry Gordy in the Jackson
Yeah.
or the Temptations.
That's
Yeah.
actually
So if
very
y'all
good.
don't
Yeah,
know who
that's
the
the
hell
one. That's who he is.
if y'all don't know who Oba Babatunde is, that is
In this film, he is the
the token.
he is the token
Yeah.
black for the council.
Like we
For the-
gotta make it
like,
look like we're inclusive.
We've
here.
got one too.
Yeah.
He is, and he is specifically underutilized in this film.
He
so
rarely
often.
lifts his head up in the entire
right
movie.
the entire movie.
Most of it covered in
Rarely
shame.
lifts his
Every once in a
head
while,
up.
it's that he's turned around. He's just
Yeah.
constantly. He's always got something else that he'd rather kind of be doing.
Right.
He's a very good actor.
Yeah.
I think that he's one of those people that can show don't tell so well. He's a star.
Yeah. Yep. So, are y'all ready?
do it.
That's the conclusion of the real basic facts. And are y'all ready to
Let's go.
Let's talk
Where we at?
about
Synopsis.
Where we at?
Philadelphia. Okay. So, Andrew Beckett is a senior associate at the largest corporate law firm in Philadelphia. He conceals his homosexuality and his status as an AIDS patient from others in the office. A partner in the firm notices a lesion on Beckett's forehead. Although Beckett attributes the lesion to a racquetball injury, it indicates Kaposi sarcoma, an AIDS-defining condition. All right, and this is where and so this is how the film starts.
I'll call out one.
Yeah.
He
real
gets
Poppycock.
he gets the big case that they
Yeah.
really need. He gets
Yeah.
the big case, and that's when he notices the lesion
Yeah.
on his forehead,
Yeah.
and then it just kind of
So
snowballs
let's start there.
I do have one poppycock.
What's
and
your
it's just-
poppycock?
Okay, so it was hard to find them in this film,
No.
but we haven't talked about who the editor was in this film. The editing was intentionally sluggish, but there is a super hard pan cut in the very beginning where they cut from stuff, and it's very unsettling. And that was one of the first poppycocks
okay.
I could handle.
Call it out.
I just had to.
Call
It's
it
just
out.
it's just so jarring. It reminds me like it's like a Star Wars kind of thing, like just a wipe.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was very and they don't do that again ever in the film. Nothing else looks like that.
Yeah.
It's very weird. It's very off-putting.
So the movie starts
time
out actually with Andrew Beckett sitting in front of a lawyer with Joe Miller, who's played by Denzel Washington, and they're discussing like I'm going to assume what was a neighborhood trying to sue a construction company that's polluting the air and messing things up and whatnot. Denzel's there on behalf of the people of the neighborhood, and of course, I'm sorry, Joe Miller.
I mean,
is there,
let's be
you know,
honest.
and
I'm surprised that you're
Beckett.
doing character names at all. I really cannot do this without just saying Tom Hanks and Denzel Washington.
I get it. I get it. It's gonna
I
happen a
really
lot.
can't.
To the
I
best
feel
of
like
my
to
abilities,
this
I'll
one,
try
I might
stick
not be
to the
able to go
character
away.
name.
Yeah.
I got you. I get it. Because we
Character
are
names
talking
are
about
fun.
Hanks and Denzel, so I get it.
what's the word? Innocuous.
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 It means harmless. Like I know what it means.
And it's a great like Tom Hanks's character loving the law but working on a side of people that don't actually care and would fire you.
But
do
it's
that.
also
But
like the
company.
introduction to like Denzel, that you see him like, okay, he's representing the people and their safety.
Yep.
But from that moment on,
And he's not dumb. And
Yeah,
he's not a dummy.
but-
and he
but-
knows your game. And
But
he's
after
like,
that,
oh,
it's like, okay, so that's
well
the first
played.
introduction. And we're like, oh man, Denzel's in the streets for the people. But Denzel's handing out he's an ambulance chaser.
He's the TV guy.
Yeah.
He's the
You know
TV
what I
guy.
mean?
The
Yeah.
TV guy.
He'll
the
chase
TV
any
guy.
case that's
He'll take any case,
moving,
and
you
he's
know?
even taking cases. We see him throughout this, like doing consultations and stuff, and he's just taking cases that like aren't winnable, but he's
Right.
willing to take
Yeah,
them.
you're gonna take them. Yeah, yeah.
I think it's
like
a
just-
numbers game for him.
And he's,
kind of
you
thing.
know, yeah, probably
billable
so.
hours as many as
It
possible.
probably is
A gig is
it
a
probably is a numbers game, and this is
Preach.
a game as well. Oh, this is today's pop quiz.
Oh, wow.
And
Okay.
yeah, already jumped it off on you. And what made me think about that, and what made me trigger that horn, is we're talking about Denzel passing his card out to everybody and everything like that. You know,
Okay.
trying to get his clientele up.
Yeah.
So it brings me to my first Poppycock Pop Quiz question. And real quick before I ask it, I just want to remind the listeners that what the Poppycock Pop Quiz is when we review these movies, I typically like to sit and find, different things within the movie to ask the co-host about, just to see how much they paid attention, and just see how much knowledge they have on the film.
Wow.
And so this season the points are all for pride. There's nothing you can exchange a man for. This is just this season is like who's on top of their shit.
Okay.
And so I'm gonna get into
Okay.
this. Okay. I promise you.
Wait, so these points are for tops? Like we get tops out of this? I may not cash them all in at once, but all right, that's fair.
All right.
I don't know how that's gonna work with like sauces.
I
and
love it
stuff.
here. Continue, Ed. I love it here. I love it here.
All right. So the first question is, what is Joe Miller's business number?
Ooh. Definitely did not catch that.
It flashes on the TV. It's also
In
in
the
the window when he's talking to Beckett in his office.
In the office.
It's in the window.
Did not.
Is it an 888 number? Do I have that
No,
to begin
this is
with?
the movies. It's a 555.
I was gonna
number.
say it's a 555.
So I'll
or
give you
888
that.
to
I'll give you
begin
the
with.
first three digits.
Okay, so it's 555. Oh shit, I do remember it.
What you got?
6969.
It is not 6969. It's 555. Help!
Oh my god,
His number is 555. Help.
he's the TV guy.
That's so terrible.
555. Help.
And
Okay.
you just said it like with that Chappelle.
Yeah.
Help!
If you listening, help.
I can't stop crying.
Oh my goodness.
Oh man.
All right, so no points awarded there. Okay, I promise
all right.
you these are not hard questions. I promise you. They might not necessarily be softballs, but they're not hard. So since we're in that meeting with Beckett, and that's what.
Always about
How many lawyers had Andy been to before coming to
10.
Joe?
9.
9
Oh,
is
yeah,
the
he's the
correct
10th.
answer.
9.
Yep.
Point to Jared. All right,
Hey.
now Jared on the board now. All right. Okay, so when working from home and getting the makeup applied to hide his lesions, what color was the makeup? Andy was-
Tahitian something. Tahitian.
You're halfway
bronze.
there. There it is.
Yes.
Tahitian bronze.
Yeah, I did text. Trevor's gonna know this, but it's weird that Tom Hanks did a lot of things. I mean, we said he got us to fall in love with a lawyer.
Yeah.
Also, he got to do Tahitian face in
Yeah.
this film. Hard to pull off.
She said it was good for hiding lesions.
What's,
That was the
what's
whole thing,
hilarious
yeah.
to me is like the line that he said goes, "You sure this isn't too orange?" And we live in
know.
2025
Yeah, come on,
now,
come
so
on
I'm
now.
just
You
like,
know we talked about it.
This is hilarious.
You already
He
know
could have
we
been way
talked
more
about it.
orange. We've
It's just-
seen more orange.
Yeah, we talked about it.
Yeah.
All right. So, all right. Both of you on the board with a point. Okay. So, next question. What law firm does Andy work for?
You
You can give me the short name. Yeah, it's like 5 names, but I will also take the short name that they referenced it as throughout the
Miller is one of them, and
It is not Miller.
That one I didn't grab. I can hear it because they both.
No,
Mary Steenburgen's character says
it's
it.
literally
Denzel's
5. No, it's
character
literally
says
5
it.
names. It's literally 5.
Can
names.
I get half a point for knowing that it was 5 motherfuckers?
I'll give you a half point. I'll
Five
give you a
bigoted
high.
motherfuckers.
that's at least
I'll give
worth
you
some
half.
lube. That's at least
I'll give you
worth a little simple serve.
I'll give you a half. I'll give you a half
So
point.
that's spit.
So, y'all silly.
You knew what you was getting into.
Oh yeah, and I'm here for it.
I can't remember one
So
name.
the shortened version
Hayes?
that they called it throughout the majority of the movie is Wyatt Willer,
Okay.
not Wyatt. Wyatt. With an N in it. Wyatt Willer is what they shortened it up to, but the full name of the firm was Wyatt Willer, Hellerman, Tetlow, and Brown.
Tetlow.
Yeah. So that's what I said, it could be a little, but that's also why I said I would take the shortened version
Yeah.
because that, throughout court, that's what they, called it was Wyatt Willer and whatnot. All right. Okay. So bonus question. In that meeting, what position was Andy Beckett being promoted to?
Oh, okay. When
When
he
we-
gets the
yeah.
big case and stuff.
Yeah.
Ah, jeez. Senior executive.
You're close. Senior.
I was.
Senior.
It's not senior
Co-counsel?
partner. Yeah.
Senior associate.
I should have thrown it.
Senior associate.
Yeah,
I'll
it
give
was
you a
always
half, though. You
associate.
get a half.
Yeah.
All right, y'all both got a point and a half.
Okay.
You both got a point and a half. So this last question is going to be for all the marbles. Who's going to win today's pop quiz? Here we go.
Game 7, if you will.
It's game 7.
Ouch.
Oh Lord.
We love you, Hallie.
Yeah, we do. No, and
Thanks for listening.
I don't want either one of you to blow out your Achilles answering this question. Okay.
Hallie did reach out to us and let us know that he was listening to the pod through the playoffs and stuff. So I just want to say, yeah, we love you.
Yeah. Heal up. Come back stronger than ever. Okay. What NBA superstar is in the suite at the game?
Dr. J.
It is
That is
Dr.
Dr.
J. Julius Irving. Okay.
They mentioned both of that, Dr. J and Julius Irving.
Irving.
was
Yes,
so
indeed. Yes,
weird.
indeed. The TV guy.
And yet not. I have a note on that.
Okay,
we'll
let's
see if we
Okay.
work around to that.
So, that concludes today's pop quiz. Jared, you took it on home with 2.5 points.
Thank you. Y'all left
2.5
out a
points.
beautiful spread for your guests.
Yeah,
Thank
2.5.
Yeah.
Yeah, so a good showing in your
Yeah,
real
2.5
Poppycock
was never a
debut.
good showing for anyone in our community. Just saying.
Not shaming. Love all kinds. Work with what you got.
All right.
We got to keep it light. This movie's heavy as fuck. man.
No doubt. So get into it.
So have we reached the part where his veins don't work yet?
Well, no, not yet. So
Oh gosh.
yeah. So real quick, while we in this Dr. J scene, I wanted to point out one thing. Did either of you notice the card flip when Denzel presented Dr. J his card?
I mean,
Like how he presented the card to him.
I noticed the summons.
Oh,
dead up in his
He
chest,
was
you
there.
know what
which
I
yeah,
was
he
what
there,
the
yeah.
summons. Is that a normal thing for the lawyer to just go drop
don't-
the
I don't
summons
know.
directly to the person?
I
that
don't know.
way?
That-
What
I
I
don't
do
know.
know, it's got to be delivered in their hand.
Okay.
And so you do whatever you can to make sure
yeah.
that they have been literally served. So,
Yeah.
but
I
the
mean,
card I didn't. So Denzel was serving two different documents.
Yeah. He served Wheeler and them, Wyatt Wheeler and them, their summons, and then he gave Dr. J the card, and he flips it out, flips it back in, and flips it back out in the smoothest motion you will ever see. I guess when he first put it out, it was backwards, but he just flipped it back in, flipped it back out, and it was in the right, Yeah.
Gave him a
And-
little reverse to,
Oh,
to,
it was
to
it was
Dr.
beautiful.
J.
It was a thing of beauty.
You know, it's
It'd be little shit like that, like that separate top tier cats from the middle of the pack.
Well, that's that fun stuff to do on set where he's just practicing that, and that's just a part of what his character does.
Yeah.
Because that's what his character does
Yeah.
more than anything is hand
flip
out
a
those
narrative,
fucking
flip a
cards.
yeah.
Right.
You know, it's okay. So, every kind of movie, I mean, like this, they're gonna not pack it. This one didn't pack it with like star
Star
cameos.
power, yeah.
But like a random cameo, you would
Yeah.
not. They're in Philly,
Yeah.
and of course, you would expect the top law firm, in the city
Oh,
to
right.
have
To have
like
access, like they got access
that kind
to
of
motherfuckers.
access, and so
Yeah.
like Dr. J, sure, why he's in there with those lawyer
Yeah.
folks, who knows, whatever. But that's just kind of the thing.
Yeah.
But okay, the first thing that I noticed about that, because I'm like, all right, this movie came out in '93,
Yeah.
and you've got a legend, an NBA legend like Dr. J.
Yep.
All right, so this is '93 when this movie comes out. All right, 2 years before is when Magic Johnson publicly announced that he had HIV. So we're tying this in where like this
It's the stand.
is a thing.
Wow.
Because and so Magic publicly announces that he's HIV positive in '91. Well, '92, that's the dream team that is like the legendary dream
Yeah.
team in
Yep.
the Atlanta Olympics, right? Which
Yep.
in Atlanta, Golden Girls reference.
Yeah.
Isn't that where the CDC's located? Gotta have moments of levity in this movie, man. Gotta have moments of levity. But I mean, like, so this is a thing that like this movie is out 3 years after two of the biggest kind of like American kind of stories, and now you take it international because it was a big thing
Yeah,
about
it
like
very-
that's
it
why the
absolutely
league
was.
is different now. Where like if someone gets cut, you go off the court,
Yeah.
you stop the game. That wasn't a thing, and now we're talking about the Olympics and Magic's gonna be on the dream
Yeah.
team. So it's like, okay, well, what international players want to play with someone that has HIV? Which ones don't? Which American player? This is that
That's
thing.
really,
where,
I hadn't thought about that because like there is, and also like I feel like it's based on a story of a lawyer from just a couple years prior than this movie takes place. So it really is kind of all happening pretty quickly there. I had not made that connection.
it's a nod.
there.
There have
That's
been
really-
two major events that had happened before
Yeah.
this. Like
It's-
Ryan White,
Ryan White.
and that's in your neck of
Kokomo,
the woods.
right.
That's
Kokomo,
Kokomo,
yeah.
Indiana, an hour north from here.
Yeah.
1990, Ryan White passes away
Yeah.
because he was infected with a
blood
blood
transfusion.
transfusion.
Yeah.
So there's this
which they allude
passive,
to with the
Yeah,
woman.
yeah,
there's this
yeah.
passive kind of
Yeah.
way of getting
Yeah.
the disease, and then you've got a iconic basketball star
Yeah.
in Dr. J. But literally just a year before is the dream team, and so like the world became this.
Yes.
It became an international topic
Yes.
about here's how we
Yes.
treat people with AIDS. Do
Yes.
we care if
Yes.
they are? You know what I mean? So
Yes.
this is that
Well,
whole
and it's got this
conversation of the movie.
Yes.
It sucks too because it's all behind this. Shout out to the throat goat, but it's all behind this like Reagan era stuff where they were not talking about this.
Oh, Nancy.
And we even get to like let's be honest, like this movie it's tough, so we're gonna jump around a lot. But during the court case, eventually they talk about how we thought there was a gay cancer or a gay plague, and we didn't know how you could get it.
Yeah. Or it was God's punishment for being
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 gay.
gay, yeah.
So I mean,
Which
it's-
was
it's-
part of
it's-
the narrative of it too. And then they also play that against like a person that gets a blood transfusion, which is all important because we also need to. We're gonna get to it eventually, but even Denzel this whole time in this film
homophobic as fuck.
and
Yeah.
and
It's
And this is
scared of
shy-
AIDS and
yeah.
scared
Yeah.
of AIDS.
Wasn't shy about
Yeah,
it. Wasn't
at
shy
all.
about it
He's
either.
homophobic.
Yeah.
He's scared of AIDS.
I mean, this movie came out at a time where it was like, all right, these things have happened and everyone's seen them. Here's how we, on the nose and not so on the nose, bring references from all of our facets of life, whether it's sports, whether it's a routine and whatever, to start to normalize
Yeah.
what this is.
I mean, it
Yeah.
reminds me of our Do the Right Thing episode where we had to talk about like all of the crazy cop killings.
Yeah. Cop
stuff
killings
like-
and- yeah.
And the fact that in that time it was still referential. I will say, to a certain extent, maybe AIDS lives seem to be progressed quite a bit
Now.
compared to when
Yeah.
we worked to do the right
absolutely.
thing, it's
Yeah.
still the same now. It's really
Yeah.
not that different. But in this one,
Yeah. And the thing, so and when this movie takes place, and then when it was made and everything, it was still a whole lot that was unknown about it. Like,
because they weren't putting research into it because the government wasn't behind that kind of
Right.
stuff. Like that's that gap that starts to happen as a trickle down of some mentally defective person like Ronald Reagan being in charge of these things and appointing other people to these things and not being able to address it, even and letting his friend die,
Yeah.
and letting his homie die.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so to bring it back around, Beckett has beat Miller in this case, this construction company against this neighborhood. In the same time, Miller has a baby.
Mm-hmm.
Beckett is given this big old case, this promotion, does his thing on it. But
Nails
they find
it.
Nails it, but they find out that he has AIDS.
And he had a couple of days off. He had a couple of days out of the office,
But
which
he's working from
honestly,
home.
if you're
Yeah,
doing a
working
new
from
big
home.
case,
Yeah.
that makes sense to me.
So, yeah.
And he's also, we got to remember at this entire time, his family all knows that he has AIDS and that he's homosexual, and he has a whole life.
Yeah.
And they're all working with him constantly on this thing. But
Yep.
they also know he's a get shit done motherfucker.
Yep.
Like he's nailing, and he's good at the coverage. He's so quick with the was a wiffle ball or a wall ball accident that happened.
Racquetball.
Racquetball, which makes
if
so
you get-
much
if
sense.
you get hit with one
That
of
shit
them
hurts.
motherfuckers, you gonna
Right on the
you
temple,
gonna
sure.
bruise.
Yep,
Yeah,
that
you
makes sense. It's gonna
bruise.
bruise pretty bad.
Yeah. So now Beckett is on top of his shit. So next plot point, Beckett stays home from work for several days to try to find a way to hide his lesions. He finishes the paperwork for a case he has been assigned and brings it to his office, leaving instructions for his assistants to file it the following day, which marks the end of the statute of limitations for the case. The next day, he receives a call asking for the paperwork as it cannot be found and there are no copies on the computer's hard drive. His paperwork is finally located in an alternative location and is filed with the court at the last moment. Beckett is called to a meeting the morning afterwards where his firm's partners dismiss him. So
Diss him.
Well,
Yeah, this
actually,
all
let's
happened
say
in
this.
the-
The first thing that they do is they ask him to draw the shades.
Draw the shades.
They know
And
how
did you see-
shameful.
did you notice
they know
how
how
far away
shameful.
the
Yes,
chair was
They
from
are
them?
distancing themselves from him in every way and
The
darkening
tables.
this scenario because it's not
Yeah.
to see the light of day.
Now-
We know what we're doing,
Not only is
and they're ready to throw a homie.
he still gets Beckett still gets the job done because he did it. He placed the file on his desk. He placed the
Yep.
file on his desk. The other guy in the office
Yep.
knew that he was working on it and knew where it was.
Yeah, what's that actor's
he
name?
always plays
And he was what was
Because he was a
in?
fucking prick.
fucking
He's our
weasel. He always
poppycock.
plays a
Let me go
weasel.
ahead. I'll throw it out there. I think
Brad-
that he's
Bradley
Poppycock.
Whitford.
Bradley Whitford.
What
He was
else?
a very good actor.
No, he's a great actor.
It'll
I
come
love
to
him.
me
He-
later.
yeah,
But he's
he
another little
always
like
plays
weaselly little
he's
sniveling
a little,
weasel.
He's a little weasel. Oh,
Yeah.
you trying to find somebody he
Yeah,
equates
and
to?
or
Or are you thinking of him?
I want to say he was in a Will Ferrell movie.
He
in the
was
early
so
2000s.
he's the sniveling little bastard trying to take over Madison Hotels and
Happy Gilmore.
Not
Gilmore.
Happy Gilmore, Billy Madison.
Billy Madison. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same movie.
He's one of the motherfuckers in Gilead and fucking The Handmaid's Tale.
Oh, I
Yeah.
haven't seen that.
Yeah.
Too close to
that
reality.
show,
Same
yeah.
reason I'm not watching The Bear.
He's
But-
also the father of the chick in Get Out.
Oh, that's right. That's
Oh shit. Yeah.
Yeah,
You're right.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. He's always
He's
playing
the
some
dad.
Damn.
little weasel.
He's
ass-
also on The West Wing.
Yeah.
That's
he's also
it.
in
That
Revenge.
was-
Yeah, he's
that's
also
it.
in Revenge of the Nerds 2, Nerds in Paradise.
And he was a
as
dick in the
same
West
type
Wing,
of
too.
little dick. Yeah.
Well, yeah,
He plays a
everybody
good. He
is.
plays a good dick.
So
And he definitely like sold everyone out. Like he is the little goblin in this film that definitely hides the paperwork and deletes the
But
things
even
and
when it
stuff.
looks like this whole deal that he's already like Beckett's already put
Yeah.
work in on,
Yeah.
it all starts to crumble when he and Miguel, Antonio Banderas,
Yeah.
are at the hospital because he is having a huge kind of like episode
Yeah.
to him being
Yes.
sick. And so even still while
Yes.
he's waiting in the ER, he's on the payphone and he's like, I'm coming. I'll be right there. So
Yeah.
he just goes
Yeah.
above and beyond even what they know what above and beyond is.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so then, okay, we go to that boardroom meeting.
Yes.
Pull the blinds.
Pull the shades.
And it's what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
It's 5 partners.
And a
And then
And
the
a
stenographer.
paralegal, and a woman,
and a
the-
stenographer
yeah.
that's there.
Yeah.
and
Who
They
she knows what's going on, and like you can
They-
see in her face that she
and they
just
say he
feels
has
so bad.
And when it gets to the all right,
She
the
feels
file
so
was
bad.
filed, but it's like whatever, and then it gets to you have an attitude.
Some people are saying that you have an attitude.
He's like,
problem.
really? Who's saying that? Like, who thinks that?
And it's
then
Tom
I
Hanks,
do.
and he just looks. He's so confused and so heartbroken and shattered, and he's like,
Because everything.
Oh,
you see,
no,
yeah,
wait,
'cause
what do you
everything
mean?
you see of him is polar opposite of. What
I know
they're
I was
trying to
late on the
say.
thing, but
Yeah.
that's never been. He's not that dude
Not to mention, they gave him this case.
because he's the best.
Because he's the best, but like 2 days before the statute of limitations.
10 hours. He had like 10.
Yeah,
fucking
like
hours
it was
in the end
something
there.
ridiculous.
and got it done. So the stress.
It was something
definitely
ridiculous.
Okay,
led
so
to-
let's.
And so that's
Let's
what
call
they
it-
tried to hold against him. I'm shocked they never even brought that point up.
They buried
You know,
that. They're
yeah,
lawyers.
Well, no, not
Yeah, they
them.
buried
I'm
that.
saying even later on in the court case, like that Denzel and them
Didn't ask when it-
didn't even bring that up
'Cause it didn't
that,
matter.
when it
that's
was
a relevant
assigned?
point. Yeah,
well, because it doesn't
that's
matter.
relevant.
You work for them, and if they give you, a
Yeah.
job,
And that's when
you
they-
I
say-
get
That's
it,
when
but
they picked
it's
up the
still
whole
relevant.
property,
It's
so-
still relevant.
But
It's
here's the
still
thing.
relevant.
Here's what I'll say. We can do this since it's especially the black episode and also one of the more queer episodes.
Mm-hmm.
How many times have we been in a scenario where we're getting fired for some stuff that like other people not only got away with or wasn't our thing, or like you're finding a weird slip that
or
like
we
maybe I
didn't-
made out of
We
one.
didn't start it, and we had to finish it, and they didn't like the way that blah blah blah.
Exactly, because he picked up somebody else's fucking work
Yep.
and got it done, delivered. I know a lot of the women out in the audience understand that too, where you're doing extra work and then all these other people are taking credit for it, but also you're on the chopping block.
Yeah.
And once he had those lesions, and there's so much lying in court, and there's lying to themselves until one of the partners admits that he understood what lesions were and
Yeah.
stuff. We'll get to all that.
Yeah.
But there are times where I notice that like, oh, I was more queer in this space than other people or expected me to be. And then the gigs start changing
Yeah.
and the hours are cut a little bit or we're bumped down the line a little bit or you're late but not later than anyone else or anything, because he was not late. He did
No,
get the
he got it
project
done.
finished even beforehand, and he's a smart enough man to have the backups. He's a good lawyer. He
Yeah.
was like, I've got the backups. I know where the hard lines are. I know where everything. I know where all the copies are and where I left it and the messages I left for everyone. How is it not in that place? And it's because Bradley Whitford, I think, was a little guy.
Oh, he was in it.
and
Yeah,
moved
no,
everything around.
absolutely, they put him on. On the case to do that.
Even
he
though
would-
he's sitting
he
out
had
on
the most
on
to
the
gain.
floor trying to like with all these
And he's
files out
selling-
on the
he's
floor,
selling the
yeah,
shit
and
out of it,
But he's the
right?
one that's got to gain. In
It's
this
not
scenario.
under this. It's not
Yeah.
under that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Although there is also the another token light-skinned person that they put up and say, oh, well, if everything was so weird to you, how did you get elevated?
Oh, I love
Yeah,
her.
no, we're gonna get to that too. Yeah, I'm glad. Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because, while watching this, like, I had a question, that popped up in my head. But yeah, so they just, on some bullshit dismiss for incompetence.
Yep.
And then
Yeah.
they make it sound like it
Yeah,
was a
for
pattern and
incompetence.
stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're doing good lawyer shit where they're like
They basically
established
said that he was mediocre
Right.
on
Yes.
his best day. That he was
Yes.
mediocre.
that he'd actually
Yes.
never delivered.
and it was they were waiting. It was like
He's the
waiting on a
promise.
rookie to
Yeah.
come into his
Right.
own, and then he never really did.
Right.
It's what they.
Right.
That was their narrative.
which
Yep.
makes them actually sound like fucking idiots.
Yeah.
What kind of person? We'll
Yeah.
get. I mean, one of the jurors.
Yep, absolutely, absolutely. So, in this time, Joe Miller, Denzel's character, has had a baby, living on the high life. You know what I mean? I just had a child. And as he's celebrating,
wife's
he's still
wonderful
handling
and
business
smart.
and everything. That's the thing you see in
He's
this
booked.
movie is they make it seem like lawyers just like have no lives outside of being lawyers. Because as
Tom
he
Hanks says
celebrates,
that. Yeah.
as he's celebrating the birth of his child, he's on the phone. And he gets told he's got a message from Andrew Beckett. He's like, who's Andrew Beckett?
Who's Andrew Beckett? Knowing
Forgetting that he had
first scene.
that
he's in the
first
hallway,
scene.
and he's in
And
the hallway
do they
giving
ever
out
say
cigars.
How much time is in between, like when that first scene?
It's
is
under
taking
6
place?
months.
7 months.
7 months?
It's a,
Okay.
It's a thing. Like there's
Yes.
a timestamp.
Yes.
Throughout the entire
so
movie.
7 months. So 7 months has passed. So he's not remembering who Beckett is.
Dude, Trevor, do you remember the movie Titanic? The DVD. Well, not even the DVD. The VHS?
Titanic, yes. I certainly am aware of it. It's one that I have not seen and will never see, but Casey, did that have 2 VHS tapes?
Fuck yeah, 2 VHSs. Sometimes you gotta pull out the tape, take some time, get some popcorn, and pop in the next tape. Flip the record over as you work.
Well, even though I wasn't there for the recording, I've really enjoyed listening to part 1 of the Real Poppycock Philadelphia episode, and we've still got a lot of great stuff to get to in part 2. What is there? Tom Hanks's aria,
Yep.
Denzel dropping some F-bombs,
Yep.
and the courtroom climax.
Yeah, a couple of those. Yeah, there's that.
Plus, Casey, you also told me part 2 has a prophylacting segment.
Oh yeah, we're prophylacting, it's pride and everything. We respect everyone.
And also a Dreamcast, and also a Poppycock Roundup.
Yeah,
so
we do.
I am
Round it
excited for part 2. Coming soon.
Thanks for listening in today, and make sure you head over to social media and give us a follow on Facebook and Instagram at Real Poppycock, or email us at realpoppycock@gmail.com. That's RELPOPPYCOCK@gmail.com, where you'll be able to find links to all of our episodes, give your feedback, make suggestions for what movies you want us to discuss, as well as segment ideas that you may want to hear us do. As always, we want to thank our title sponsor, Inspire Music Collective. Make sure to check them out on Facebook and Instagram at Inspire Music Collective, or go visit their website at inspiremusiccollective.org. If you or someone you know is interested in becoming a sponsor of the show, please shoot us an email or shoot us a DM on socials, and we'll get back to you. Lastly, if you like this podcast and what we do, make sure to tell at least one person about us. Word of mouth is still the best way to get the word out about creative works, and we would greatly appreciate it if you told your friends and loved ones about it. Once again, thanks for listening, and see you next time.
Tell what I feel